We are almost starting. 3, 2, 1. Almost. Hey, what's up, guys and gals? Thank you so much for joining me. We are here live. That is, if you see down below, right here, I think it's right here, it says live. If not, it's on this side. But hopefully you guys and gals are doing okay. We're going to take a look at a couple Lucy episodes and talk about Lucy and get into Lucy, and hopefully you've seen yesterday's video of mine. Let me just move this. There we go. Okay, just adjusting things here. There's a lot of things open on the screen. There's one thing open, there's another thing open, then there's one more thing open, and I got my book, and then my shirt matches the book. It's a crazy day, guys and gals. Look how nice it is. Well, you can't really look, but it's nice and bright. You can see the sun is on me. I'm in crazy mode right now. So just to let you know, in case you guys are like, nah, I'm kind of amped up today, in a good way, excited, and just ready to go and talk about some Lucy. Let me get the right episodes going. What are we going to be watching today? Today, we're going to be watching Lucy Misses the Mertzes. We're going to be talking about it, or talking about whatever you guys want. So let me see here. Why was there sound? There's not supposed to be sound. Okay, there we go. And Lucy Misses the Mertzes. Oh, there's lots of crying in this one. Oh, yes. It's the extra hour of sleep we got. That's what it is. I had my alarm clock and it went off an hour before. No, I woke up an hour before. Like, that's the crazy thing. My body is already brain programmed. Isn't that weird and crazy and nuts? I think you're right, Casey. Okay. Lucy Misses the Mertzes. So, sorry in case I'm all over and active. I also had a tea before this, before I had my lunch. So that could be a culprit, guys and gals. But I've had tea before. So, I don't know. This is definitely a side of me. Maybe you haven't seen yet, but that's okay. That's okay. Let me see. Season 6. Not everyone's favorite season. Is that the first one in Connecticut? Great question. Yes, it is, because Lucy Hates to Leave. Yeah, it's the first full one in Connecticut. You are right, Arthur. Awesome catching that. Okay, so this episode, Lucy Misses the Mertzes, premiered on February 11th, 1957. Episode 169, filmed on a Thursday as usual, December 20th, a couple days before Christmas, 1956. So it was filmed the year before, which is kind of cool. Rating share 38.8. You're seeing the rating share drop significantly. Compare 38.8, Lucy Misses the Mertzes. Let me go back a bit, okay? I know we're segueing, but I think this is important to look at. We're going back to season 4, Don Juan the Starlet's, not the greatest episode ever, 51. That is a full 20 almost 20 points. Let me keep going. Back to what, season 3, 57. 62 Fan Magazine interview. You can definitely see more people tuning in earlier on, and of course we see, I think the peak of it was when Ricky was born. That episode, Lucy Goes to the Hospital. 71.8, almost 3/4 of all TVs are watching that episode, down to 38.8. So big drop. Supporting cast: Little Ricky, of course, Harry Munson, Tristram Coffin. Ooh, interesting last name. Station clerk Jesse Kirkpatrick, moving man Robert Bice, and delivery guy Gary Gray. Oh, I thought that said Gary. My dyslexia acting up. Okay, so I'm going to start over here. We can talk about that. We can talk about something else. We can talk about my one-on-one chats that you guys should really book because they're so awesome. Information in the description on that. There's a link. If you guys want mugs, if you guys want videos, it's all on my channel. So, hello everyone, Richard. So you are a season 6 fan, I see. Oh, starting out in the Mertzes living room in this episode. Did you guys see my video on Bedroom Secret? You should really check it out. Honestly, you should, because I don't know, some people really told me they enjoyed that episode. Arthur, I don't dislike it, but most of the New York ones are way better. I'm with you. I like the apartment one. I spoke to someone recently who watches my videos, and she said that she doesn't like the apartment ones. She loves the Hollywood and Europe, and I'm okay with that. There's different tastes, guys and gals. I'm so okay with that, and hopefully you are too. But I think that's what's beautiful, that we can all come and say, well, I like the Connecticut ones, I like the New York apartment ones. Some people don't like season 1, I heard, because it's too out there, and I never saw it that way, but I do agree. It's kind of out there, like the giant bread. I mean, I mean, it doesn't add up. A lot of plot holes, but it's fun. I don't know how to explain it, you know? So it was a weird season, according to Marcus. Kind of started losing its flair, but for a fan like me, it was cool. Yeah, I still enjoy them. These to me are weird. Like Lucy Hates to Leave, Lucy Misses the Mertzes. They're kind of weird episodes because there's a lot of emotions going on. Like negative, like crying and all that stuff. And it seems like there wasn't a lot of zany Lucy plots compared to before, if that makes sense. So, Chiefs, I'm watching Lucy Misses the Mertzes. If you ever want to know, the episodes are down below. I put them, like the name of the episodes, so that you guys can kind of keep track. So we're talking about just now Lucy is crying with Ethel, and Ethel's giving her the key and be like, you can come to our apartment anytime you like. So, hello everyone, in case I didn't say hello. Thanks for joining the live stream. And check out the description. There's a lot of links for stuff and items and one-on-one chats and all that good stuff. I can definitely call Cynthia out in a good way. Cynthia did a one-on-one chat with me, and I don't know, you should ask what she thinks, because I think she had a pleasant experience from what she told me, so it was very enjoyable. Hey Ron, you are the one who had lunch with Lucy on her front lawn. Isn't that cool? That is awesome, and Cheebs made it. Very, very cool. So, Arthur, you don't know how all houses weren't watching when Lucy had little Ricky. Only 3 channels. Yep, that's true. And what did like 2,000 people have TVs then? Yeah, I mean, what were they doing? Maybe they were out. I don't know. Maybe they were just out. Maybe they were watching one of the dinky shows that no one else was watching. I don't know. Maybe they... But, I mean, the thing was to watch TV. It's like everyone now is on the internet. The thing to do then was, you know, to watch TV. That's what you did. So, Cheebs, I am watching the Lucy Misses the Mertzes. Since I've started, it's been 5 or 10 minutes of continuous crying by Lucy. That's what I mean. There's a lot of that. Not my most favorite episode. I'm going down the line, so we're going through the seasons. We're going through the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour, and I like to point things here and there. I don't want to spoil it, but go ahead and I suggest taking a look at the last video I put. Most of this scene takes place in the living room of the Mertzes apartment. Kind of cool. Marcus, so you think the writers were trying to find new things to come up with? Kind of like they were trying new things and couldn't really fit country life and Lucy together. I kind of agree. I think they could have done so many things, but in my opinion, see, here's the thing, that when you go into the country, it's a simpler life, let's just say, compared to the city. Like, you know, for the city, there's so much happening, quote unquote. In a country, there can too, but it's more laid back, it's more calm, it's not as stressful. And so I think if they would have started out country and moved to city, it would have been different. But they went the other way, if that makes sense. However, according to the story, Ricky was doing better monetarily and so forth, and so it made them able to buy their own home to move to the country. The higher society life, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. Good point, good point. See, I love these conversations because we're analyzing, you know, the episodes. And I think that's good because a lot of us are very familiar. And the fact that we are analyzing them and thinking about this. Oh yeah, you're right. Desi, or Ricky, is carrying Lucy right through the threshold. And little Ricky goes, "Yes, Daddy, I will do that with Fred." And he does it with Fred. So, Arthur, your favorite is when Ricky got to the house and they pointed the gun at him. Oh, yeah. Or he's like walking sideways. He's like, what happened? What happened? What's going down here? And yeah, that is great. That's Brains. That was last video we had. And we weren't talking much about it. We had all these other questions. So that's what's great about these live streams. You guys steer it, not me. I'm facilitating and keeping kind of order and flow going. But you guys are coming up with the questions and the topics. And, you know, if there's maybe not a lot of that, I'll refer to the episode. But you guys are the ones who are doing that. Leilani, I am doing fantastic. I guess evening for you. It is midday for me. So, yeah. So you wonder, Casey, if people thought watching it for the first time that the Mertzes wouldn't be on that show anymore once the Ricardos moved. Maybe. But I think they were such friends that they couldn't separate them. You know, it would be very, very difficult. Really, Richard? No. Does her wedding ring really get bigger? That's puzzling to me. Because I think they use their own, like, I know Desi used his actual wedding band. I don't know about Lucy. Yeah, I definitely know that is Desi's real wedding band, and he takes it off whenever he does a drum scene where he's playing the drum. He takes it off. I mean, it gets in the way, right? And in the pilot, the first episode, he actually starts playing with the ring on. He continues, takes it off mid-play, puts it in his pocket, and continues without missing a beat. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna have to do a video on that. I have an idea for a feature video that I think you guys will like about Desi. It'll be cool. Each season had a special episode according to Yolanda. I would say a lot of good episodes in every season. Take a look at my favorite episodes, and yeah, that's why I talk about that. Let me see. Bradness, how are you? One or two of the writers might have had experience in Connecticut or just country life in general, making it easier to replace the gang from the big city to country. That's a good point. I think I'm trying to, yeah, by this time they had a lot more writers compared to before. Before it was just 3 writers. Then they added Bob Schiller and Bob Weisskopf. Took Jess Oppenheimer out. Madeline Pugh Davis and Bob Carroll Jr. kind of stepped back. Desi stepped in. There was a lot of shuffling for sure. So I don't know. Definitely changed the vibe of the show. Ooh, Cheebs, great trivia. I want to put this out to you guys. Anybody remember how much Fred spent on the taxi and on the train ticket? Fred, the penny pinching dope, according to Ethel. Oh wait, was that Lucy? I think Lucy said he was penny pinching. There'd be no reason to separate the Mertzes from the Ricardos. They were still in the same studio. Yeah, I mean, yeah, in real life, right? But it only made sense that they lived in together, and then they switched roles for landlord and tenant. So I think that's cool. Okay, Arthur, one thing I don't like, there were too many other people. The Ramseys, this one's cousin, that one's best friend. It was just better than the Mertzes random person. Yeah, I think so. I think, do you guys, how do you feel about this? Do you guys remember the Ramseys? So that was Frank Nelson and Betty, I don't remember her name. Oh goodness, I'm gonna have to go. Lucy gets chummy with the neighbors. Her name is on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. Mary Jane Croft. Okay, right. It almost seems like they wanted to replace the Mertzes. I mean, almost. Like maybe they were seeing if using them might have gotten better, better ratings. I don't know how to explain it, but it seems like they weren't second to the Mertzes. It was almost like they were competing, and then they kind of wrote them off. Because think about it, in the last couple episodes, they're not there. So let's see, building a barbecue, they're not there anymore. The After the Country Club dance, raising tulips, and the last episode, the Ricardos dedicate a statue. And then they don't really appear again, only Frank Nelson, and that's about it. So tell me what you guys think about that. Oh, the matinee, I do like that episode. The Most Happy Fella, I love that episode when they go out to the theater. And Cynthia will know this because in our one-on-one chat, we talked about that episode a lot. And that was really, really fun. The best episode from the country was Building the Grill. It kind of gave an older Lucy flair. You guys like that? I think it was an okay episode, but I'm not head over heels over that episode. I'm going to have to really look at season 6 and see which ones I liked. I liked the tango one, believe it or not. I love the country club dance a lot because Barbara Eden's my favorite. She's beautiful. I like the statue one. The tulips one is alright. Housewarming is kind of funny to me. But anyway, yeah. So, Yolanda, the longest laugh was the episode of the raising of the chicks. The eggs hidden in clothing. The raising of the chicks. Yeah, so it was the tango, that part. So when the eggs exploded, when the eggs got smashed, that was the longest laugh. Yes, they cut it out in the airing of it. Gianna, if someone had never seen, oh man, this thing's moving fast, but that's good, guys. Let me just go back. If someone had never seen I Love Lucy before, which episode would you show them? Great question. I showed them the ballet. I showed someone the ballet who'd never seen I Love Lucy before. But I think there's a lot of choices. You kind of have to go bare bones. Vitamina Benjamin. I think you have to go job switching. Why? Because you have to give them the best, in my opinion. You have to give them the best. and then you gotta work up to the other episodes. You gotta work up to the ones that maybe aren't that great or not that, you know, they have to get into the Lucy mood. So great question. Oh, the Ramses to the Applebee's. That's a great thing, Casey. I've never thought of that. So let me see. I'm trying to get caught up with these comments, which are awesome. The chat's great, guys. Participate if you can. You love the country episode where Ethel and Betty get chummy. Yes. The baby chicks. You love the horse one. So Ash, are you talking about the that's the Lucy Desi comedy hour? Yep, that's the 1 hour episodes. Arthur, so in case, because some people ask me after, are you live, Rick? And they're commenting, and I'm not writing back because I'm not live or I'm not responding. Look down below. It says live, so some people may be watching this after. If it doesn't say live, it's not live. So there's a red dot that says live. So Arthur, dedicating the statue was the last episode of I Love Lucy, the half-an-hour episodes. The Lucy Desi comedy hour were the hour episodes. And then we have Lucy and Ricky meet in Cuba. That's the first episode of the hour episodes. That was still technically I Love Lucy because it was called the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. It's called I Love Lucy, the hour-long episode. It had a lot of names. And so, yes. You haven't been to a party since you were a little girl. That is funny. You like the dress that Lucy wore in the country club. That was a tight dress for back then. Barbara Eden looked great in the white one, I think. Oh, wow. Sophie, you can recite the dialogue beginning to end. Wow, you're awesome. You have a really good memory, or you've watched a lot of it. But even if you haven't watched a lot of it, you have to have a good memory. Like, you could have seen it 1,000 times and had a bad memory and couldn't have said it. So I think you have a good memory. Yeah, well, Bradness, great point. The 1 hour episodes, they were trying to do big productions, big stories, long stories, and it takes longer to record or to film it. And the issue with that is they didn't come out even monthly sometimes. They did it first and then they kind of slacked or they started to have marital issues. And I can tell you, if there was one episode, they waited like 6 months for it to come out. It was really crazy. So it was 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, then there was 2 months gap. Then there was literally from April, the next episode was in October, half a year, 2 months after another episode, then 3 or 4 months, 3 months after, 2 months after, 2 months. Then we had 3 months gap, 3 month gap, 2 month gap, and then finally, like a 5 month gap. So they were very inconsistent, having to do, I guess, with the marriage and so forth. But it was, yeah, going to weekly to like waiting 6 months for an episode. It was, and I don't think a lot of it was production, believe me. Yeah. Oh, cheap. So if I could have one artifact from any set of I Love Lucy, what would it be? Oh, geez. I would like a piece of furniture. I know some people may like a phone. I know someone, and I won't reveal, who actually has the I Love Lucy phone, one of the phones that Lucy used, which is really cool. I would love to see that and show it to you guys. A couch. I would love the I Love Lucy couch. That's so cool. Yes, Bradness. She has commentary in the complete disc set. It's awesome. She praises Lucy to high heaven, and I think that's awesome. It tells a little bit about her and their relationship. Lucy was apparently very nice to her and very encouraging, and she was always like pushing her because she saw talent in her. Yes, David. So they had a station wagon, they said at some point, but they never went into that. They never even showed it. Oh, pigeon was outside and just flapped away. Yeah, he took the train, but I think it was just easier because, you know, the East Coast, I'm not from the East Coast, but it's easier to get around with like public transportation. Not on the West Coast. Not on the West Coast. But in the country, you're out there. And so you kind of need a car, I would say. The train doesn't just pass through the country like that. Let me see. Gianna, were the hour-long episodes taped in front of a live audience? That's a great question. I would say, I don't think so. I haven't done much research because a lot of these scenes couldn't have been taped in front of a live audience. It was just so complicated. I think they were. Well, now I'm going back and forth. I'm not sure because some scenes they couldn't have. Like when they were in front of the bull and Lucy was literally running, like there was, so it wasn't as consistent run all the way through as the half-an-hour episodes. It couldn't have been, just of how production was. So it's something to keep in mind. So I'm trying to go back to the comments. Arthur, what's the point if they're going to air that far apart? I don't know. Great question. You guys tell me. Oh, you love the original vitamin to vegetable bottle? That's funny. That is pretty cool. Yes, Brandon, great point, and you are absolutely correct. That is true. Barbara Eden did say that Lucy ordered more sequins on her dress because she wanted it to pop out more, to be more noticeable, to look even beautiful, and she did help, like, to put the sequins on herself. Yes. That gives you an idea of Lucy and her personality and so forth. She wanted perfection all the time. I think because she was a nice person, but she was also very strict, and so she wanted her show to look good, and she had to make her look good for her show to look good, if that makes sense. So it was just part of her nature. Let me see. Patty, yes, even with a car, you take a train into Manhattan. With a car, you take, yeah. So see, you guys know that because you guys are from there, and I talked to someone who is regularly, well, they are from New York. I think Long Island, and then they take a thing to the city. I don't know. I'm sorry. I've never been there. So I guess if I visit, which I am going to visit someday, I'll know it a little better. Marcus, how many different times did the furniture change in Lucy? Because the apartment had 2 or 3 different types of furniture. You guys let me know. And if you can write out the different times, that would be awesome. I want you guys to get that because we've talked about this before. So great question. You grew up in New Jersey, so that's like right next door. I know that it's like people ferry across like all the time or drive across. It's a regular thing, right? To go from Jersey to New York all the time. So right now they're at the station. And think about it. The sets for the apartment, guys and gals, are pretty much at this point, they're gone. They're gone. They're not there anymore. They have the huge set for the country house. They had the Mertzes living room, which would later be not used and torn apart eventually because they had to do more things like an exterior set for the house. They had to do the area of the lawn. Remember the area of the lawn when Lucy was running amok? Okay, they had to build that. And so everything kind of changed little by little. They were saying, okay, we don't need the old apartment kitchen. We don't need the old apartment living room. We don't need the old apartment bathroom. Remember that was used 2 or 3 times, not so much. And so they started dismantling stuff, be like, okay, now we have the bedroom for the Ricardos. That's a new area. And then they had the den. So there's a lot of different types of sets that they were working with and using. Also the country club, that was a set. So there were lots of sets, and it's really crazy to think about all the work and money that went into that. Think about the one where they went to Mexico in the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. Do you guys remember that one? There was a scene where there were like 30, let's say, well, maybe not that many. Let's just go 5 to 10 cars. Like that's a big set for 5 to 10 cars to use. So it's just something to think about. Ash, so yes, Rick, come to the East Coast so you can vlog it. Oh, you can bet on it. I'm even planning maybe on meeting someone up there. That is kind of funny that I'm talking from the channel, like they met me through the channel. And it's kind of funny because they're like, yeah, come over. And I've never been there. And it'll be great. I want to kind of vlog it for you guys. But you guys, it'll be like your backyard. So I guess you want to see me like a fish out of water somewhere else. Oh, I have no idea on the amount of fares. Can you let me know? I don't know. I guess we can think about Fred and how much he paid, right? I don't know what the fares are now. I have no idea. Public transportation is here, but it doesn't help. It's you need a car here. Like you can get where I'm at, I can get anywhere I want in about 30 to 45 minutes max. We do have traffic. We have tons of traffic. But pretty much anywhere in the area I can get within that time. Like, either way. Yes, I think Fred said something about $6.60 a piece on the train. Something like that. Yeah, $2 for a taxi. Patty, so when Lucy says traffic was backed up to East Orange, New Jersey, I was excited because I was close. Oh, that's awesome. That's good. Remember, they never filmed there. I mean, yes, there was the George Washington Bridge shot there, but Lucy and Desi weren't there. It was all shot in Hollywood. So they were referring to areas, or to areas that you're aware of. That's kind of cool. The country house had several rooms, lots of rooms, for sure. You know, Cynthia, good point. Think about this, or, you know, a lot of these sets are made to look good on film. Okay, everything has a practicality. So a house, you're in a house or home or an apartment, it's made to stand and not to fall apart. Like, it's strong and so forth. Not film sets or TV sets. They're made to be made quickly. They're only made to what the camera sees. So behind them, they're usually like hollow and all this stuff, and they're also made to be temporary, foldable, and to be taken down quickly. And so they didn't need a set. They would put it away if they knew they would use it. They would literally like fold it and put it to the side of a stage. And if they didn't need it, they would literally tear it apart. Like, they would tear it apart in like a day or two, and then make something again 2-3 days. And then by literally next week, they'd have a new set. Like, that's how fast these guys are. Yep, Tropicana Club gone, because they needed the house set actually went into the Tropicana Club area. There's a lot. You guys are asking why the Tropicana wasn't shown, I think last week. That's one of the reasons why. Because they had to tear down the set. And so they didn't go back there. Even though he had remodeled it and so forth. So it seems like they didn't think it through, in my opinion. Like, they had remodeled the Tropicana Club Babalu. It was a new thing. But then they just moved to the country. So it's like, oh no, we can't even use the club anymore because we need it for a big home. So yeah, things are changing episode to episode. They weren't thinking too far ahead. As, like, in season 1, they had done 10 or 11 episodes were written out before the first one even aired. Yeah. So if you go down the list of the first 10 episodes, they were written, and then they would be on like episode 3, and then they had like, Jess Oppenheimer had like 5 or 6 more episodes to go. And the cast wouldn't even know what they were going to do, and the writing was done. So that's kind of cool. Little brother has a girlfriend in Jersey. In Jersey. Yolanda, so you're thinking of going to Jamestown? I am. Well, if everything goes well and things goes planned, I will be going to Jamestown. Don't know when. I'm gonna let you guys know. Like, when I have it confirmed, I'll let you guys know way in advance. So if you guys are in the area and want to meet up with me and want to meet up at the Lucy Desi Museum, maybe that'd be a cool thing. Who would be up to actually doing it? Now, don't say you would do it if you wouldn't actually do it. Like, if I say, hey guys and gals, in 2-3 months I'm gonna be there, who can do it? Like, who would actually make the trip? Things come up, but yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. I have a work schedule. I'm studying to be a pilot. I had 3 lessons canceled on me because of weather, so hopefully I'll go back up in the air on Tuesday, and I don't know how that's gonna be then. Like, right now my focus isn't even on my channel as much as flying. Flying's #1. Of course my work, my daily work, but I mean, flying has kind of superseded that because this is an important thing for me. Not that this isn't, but you know, we have priorities. Oh, the Mertz is caught in the house. Ooh, Kippy Boo. So 4 times furniture was replaced. Redecorating. Lucy wants new furniture. Redecorating the Mertz's apartment. Now, was the furniture actually changed then? Because remember, they paid for the Mertz's furniture. Lucy gets chummy with the neighbors. So I'm not sure about the 3rd one. Ricky was understood to still be going to work at the club. Exactly, but the club was not shown. Absolutely. No, you're right. Yeah, basically when they were at the country, the club was gone. Actually, the club was, when they were going to Florida, the club didn't really appear anymore, and that was way before they moved. They were still in the apartment. Because remember, they had the apartment. They went to Florida. They had to start building those sets, like the ones were on the deserted island. So they basically had to put those sets away, the apartment ones, and then bring them back until they moved and destroyed them. And then it was crazy. I bet that season was crazy for them. Otaku, what are your thoughts on the 2012 Three Stooges movie? I haven't seen it. I heard it's all right, and you know, because sometimes those don't meet up to expectations, but I heard for them not being the Stooges and like being respectful to the work, it was fairly good. You guys tell me. Fuzzy Cub, great question. Was Lucy cremated? No. Her remains are now in Jamestown. They were in New York. Excuse me, they were in LA, and they were recently in 2000-ish moved to Jamestown by her son and daughter. Decided to move her over. So she was not cremated. Desi and Vivian Vance were cremated. Bill Frawley is here in LA. All right, let me get the next episode going. Lucy gets chummy with the neighbors. I want to get a few more comments here before I read the information on it. So give me 1 second. Oh, that's awesome. Jamestown next summer. Yeah, his movie career, I don't know if you could say it flopped. But, yeah, from the last episode of I Love Lucy, it was not bidding well for him. I don't know what was going on. That whole career thing of his, it felt like it was going up, and then it just kind of plateaued, and then it just died. I don't know, you know? So I don't know what it went to, because that was going into the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. And then it kind of just vanished. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking of, really. That's something that's just lost to cinema or to TV history. Okay, so let's talk about that episode, guys and gals. The next one, Lucy gets chummy with the neighbors. So this was a February 18th, 1957 release, episode 170. Again, not doing well in the ratings, 38. Wow, even worse than Lucy Misses the Mertzes. People are not tuning into this. Interesting. Filmed on Thursday, January 10th, 1957. I think it's good to talk about this because it shows the trajectory of the show and what's going on. Could this have had issues or played into their marriage issues? Something to ask. Supporting cast, of course, Little Ricky, Ralph Ramsey, Frank Nelson, Betty Ramsey, Mary Jane Croft, Mr. Perry Bailey, Parley Bayer. Yes, he was Mr. Riley also in season 4. Head the studio. Bruce Ramsey, Ray Farrell. So this was the first appearance of the Ramseys. Both performers had appeared on I Love Lucy, of course, as other things. Now, Jerry Miggins, the Lucy Propman, who joined Desilu in 55, recalls that the new furniture that appeared in this the Connecticut-based shows was a gift to Desilu from the manufacturer. Everyone tried to get their stuff used on the show because it was so popular. It was Desi's idea to use 2 sofas back-to-back. Desi and Jerry spent hours arranging and rearranging all the living room furniture, with Lucy directing us from the sidelines. Because of the fireplace, they couldn't seem to hit on something that worked properly until Desi's brainstorm. Very cool. Again, Desi, the genius behind all of that. Okay, so let's get right into this. You know, honestly, I have never seen the old classic, let's say. I want to move away from the word old. I'm starting the episode. The classic or the original, I have not seen. I did like the 93 movie because that's what I grew up with, and I watched, and I even had a classmate of mine who was a little rascal. So, kind of cool. He was in the movie. Okay. Lucy's Ghost. Never heard of that before. Interesting. This could have been the time the marriage began to crumble and the writers did what they could to write about them. I think the life apartment worked for them, though. It did. It did. It seemed like when they went to the country, they expanded. They grew a little too big. Some of the episodes were cool. Little Ricky and the dog, and the whole, rededicating the statue. I like that part. But, I don't know. Patty, Rick has a blooper video where you could see a feather floating in Lucy's apartment. Now, let me tell you why. Do you guys know why there was a feather in the apartment? This whole scene was done in the Mertzes living room. Feathers going everywhere, okay? Remember, that was, I'm going to spoil it here, so you should have watched the episode. I'll give you a little tidbit. It was the same as the bedroom, right? And so that was right next to the living room, so that's why you would get a feather from the camera's perspective on the left side, the side of the Mertzes living room. See that? See the connection there, how that happened? Because you guys might think, why is there a feather floating down in the Ricardos living room if it happened in another area, you know? So that's the logic. I think that was amazing to me. So if you guys made that connection too, what do you think? Let me know. East Orange. East Orange, New Jersey. Then how did it stay at #1 at the end of the season? So what do you mean, Mr. Like Cats? Do you mean I Love Lucy? Like season 6? How did season 6 stay? Or, I don't know. Could you elaborate a little more on your question? Yeah, so see that, Casey? That's the logic right there. And honestly, as I was piecing, it's not like I knew that. I was piecing it together from the when I was making the episode, the feather thing came into my brain. And I was like, that's why. So feathers went everywhere. They got caught in the lights, moving air. Remember the air conditioning, all this stuff. And then, boop, that would be right there. If, let's say, if the scene were at the club, it wouldn't reach that way. But right, because they shared a wall, that's why it happened. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. If not, you really should watch my last episode, or my last video, because I explain it there. So let me see, Bradness. And they were able to make back-to-back sofas work on camera through slightly side-angled and having Ethel sit sideways or positioning to face Lucy on the front-facing couch. Yeah, their seating positions had to be changed. I'm going to have to look, because I'm looking right now. One sofa, and then they had the small sofa and the table. Yeah, it's honestly, it seems like they wanted to go big to make all these big scenes, but they went too big, I think, if that makes sense. They outgrew themselves. They became too big to the point where it created difficulties, and they had to get the new furniture, if that makes sense. Yeah, even their little dining room table is dinky compared to what they had. But it kind of makes sense, because when you move, you know, you have to get new furniture to accommodate your new home. So, kind of cool. Yeah, Lucy seemed like a different person in the country. I think she kind of acted like she was from the country, too. Thank you, Patty. I'm glad you liked the last episode I did on the Mertzes living room. Good, good, good. Mars, how are you? Nice to see you. Yes, Yolanda, you're absolutely correct in regarding Babwa Wawa. Is that an SNL thing, Babwa Wawa? Like making fun of Barbara Walters? I don't know. It came from somewhere. I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway. A Christmas gift? No way. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Casey. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to recording it as well. Believe it. When I get something, no matter what it is, I have fun recording it and showing it to you guys. Like, I think gifts should be shared. And so that's why I kind of show them. I do unboxing. Some people maybe don't get it. It's like, why is he showing stuff? I think it makes sense because I want to appreciate. That's one way of appreciating it. I could write a letter back, or I could respond to comments. But what better than to make a video on the stuff you guys sent me? Like, mention you guys. It's kind of a shout out. It stays on YouTube. So why not? Oh, well, thank you, Mars. I'm glad that you came and that you made it, like that you were able to catch me live. So I appreciate that. You've got Little Ricky's autobiography and used to get terribly nervous and stuttered a lot, so they probably didn't want to give him too much extra work. Yeah, I think they used him because he really looked like Desi, one thing. Second thing, he was really talented with the drums, and he was cute. Maybe he wasn't the best actor out there. But it is what it is. Brittany! Nice to see you, Brittany. It's great. Brittany also corresponds with me on Instagram. Again, guys and gals, as my channel continues to grow, it gets harder to do comments, let's say, on YouTube, because sometimes I get like 45 a day. And that's fine, but, you know, I have to get into, read them, and I read them all, always. Sometimes I respond because they're directly at me. Sometimes they're just comments on other people, so I don't respond. But, I mean, Instagram is a great way to reach me, Twitter, one-on-one chats. Literally, it's a one-on-one talk, which is good. And some people are like, they're nervous. I'm like, don't. It's just me. I'm a regular dude, you know? I eat, sleep, and poop. Can I say that? Can I say that? Oh, man. Thank you, Patty. Baba Wawa was Gilda Radner. Oh, she was so great. She was the wife, or I'm not going to say the ex-wife. She was a former wife of Gene Wilder, correct? Then she got sick, poor thing. There we go, Bradness. Thank you, thank you. Oh, she was so great. I kind of feel bad for her. It was Gene Wilder's love, the love of his life, he said. And he was never really into the whole marriage and finding a woman thing until he found her, and he was like, oh my gosh. So that's kind of cool. It's a hopeful little message. Homemade gifts. Many people don't send me homemade gifts. Some do. But homemade gifts are the best. All the gifts are awesome, but yeah. Brittany is here. Homemade gift. They finally had a table instead of a counter in the country episode. They finally had they had 2 dining room sets. They had like a breakfast area in the dining room / living room, and then they had a kitchen table with the Lazy Susan. My Halloween was great, pretty uneventful. When I was a little kid, I used to do lots of Halloween stuff. Now, not anymore. I think college spoiled it for me. I'm pretty sure when I have kids in the future, or if I have kids, it's going to be a big thing for me. I don't, and so, you know, it's more like just any other holiday. I'm big into Christmas, my favorite holiday ever. Thanksgiving, I really love. Those are my 2 big holidays that I love. So they're coming up. Thanksgiving is a really big deal for me, being thankful. Yep, Fuzzy Cup, great point. He was good friends with, I was going to say Don Nuts. He wasn't good friends with Don Nuts. What's his name? Ronnie Howard. Yes, Gene Wilder. Oh, my favorite, Gene Wilder. I just love him from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Amazing. He was Willy Wonka. Sorry, Johnny Depp. Sorry, sometimes I have to pre-read comments because, you know, I have to kind of filter stuff. So I hope you understand that that's what I'm doing if I'm like staring at the thing and you know, reading. So that's how this chat works sometimes. So we've been on for about 40 minutes, which is great. Lucy's picking out furniture. Well, Yolanda, great point. It was said that he was a drinker. And you do know one of the symptoms of drinking alcohol is you start to kind of your face and features kind of turn red, and you retain more water, and so you get plumpy. And he definitely got that plumpy. I would say back to season 5, he started drinking a lot more, and so you can definitely see that. And of course you age. Like alcohol is a poison. Like I don't want to get into it, but you know, you guys are smart. But in case, you know, some people are younger and don't make that distinction, don't know, alcohol is a poison, and so it starts to damage you. And the older you get, the more it shows. Yeah. Drinking, smoking, the stress. He was running the studio. So anytime, if you go back to season 4, the Hollywood episodes or anything like that, I call it the Ricky or the Ricky Desi jacket, because it was his regular clothing, the striped black jacket. I'm going to have to make an episode just on it. Because he wore that on set, but he also wore it off set. That was literally when he would film scenes. When he was not in the scenes anymore, he would literally rush out, do business, come back. Like in the same frame of the filming, which is crazy. We see less and less of him. Like this one, Lucy gets chummy with the neighbors. He's not in this episode as much as when he was with Lucy, like by himself, and the Mertzes came in just a little bit. Like Lucy's with Betty Ramsey most of this episode. Literally, when he was not on set, he would leave. Like I said, this was in the evening. He would go and he would have maybe a 10-minute meeting and jump back. He wouldn't even change. He would just get right back into the scene. Like, that's literally how he was doing it. So, great to know these things. You love Thanksgiving and Christmas too. Yay! Oh, I'm sorry, Casey. It is a hard holiday, especially when people pass during holidays or close to holidays. Yeah, I would agree with you. Brittany, your birthday's next month, 23rd, but it's also so close to Christmas. I don't get anything. Oh, no. Oh, no. So, Marcus, so Philip Morris was their main financial support, but they weren't throughout the whole series. They also had American Export Lines, I believe. They had a few sponsors. So as one would leave, one other one would replace it throughout the whole series. And yeah, so Philip Morris started out as their main big sponsor. Yep, absolutely. The only way you can see those commercials or references are in the DVDs, the full season of them. Oh, Fred fainting. Fred going into his shock. I love that. Let's see. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, death is a hard thing. Not that I want to ignore it, but I definitely want to keep a positive, chipper outlook on things. So, very, very, very important, because I want you guys to feel good when you're on my channel. So let's talk about all this great stuff that is going on. Like right now, Fred, that is completely in a state of shock. Because Lucy spent, what, $3,000, which is like 30 grand on furniture. Isn't that crazy? Scott, no, Lucy's mother never made an appearance on the show. Now, the actress, Lucy's actual mother, Dee Dee, was never on the show. Catherine Card was in the Japan episode right in the beginning. So, absolutely. Oh, this is great. So Lucy is coming in. Oh, excuse me. Lucy's in the house. She doesn't want Desi or Ricky. Ugh, I mess up the names. She doesn't want Ricky to come in, see the furniture. He has his foot stuck in between the door, and he's shouting. What is really crazy are Desi's shouts, because this is Desi, not Ricky, that's screaming. Here, that's the thing. It seemed like season 1 and 2, when Desi was shouting, it was like Ricky was shouting. As the seasons went on, we go to 6. Desi was shouting, not Ricky, if that makes sense. Because it seems like a lot of the anger and frustration came out more. I'll just leave it at that, but yeah. Yes, Lucy's mother, the actress, Catherine Card. I just want to make that distinction. Not Lucy's actual mother, who was at every taping. She was in the audience in the back. Why didn't they use Desi and Lucy's actual mom and dad and so forth? Well, because they weren't actors. These are actors, right? And so it's not easy to do it. What the funny thing is, sometimes when I meet someone or tell someone about YouTube, and I tell them I do this in front of the camera, I don't have one of my cameras, but I literally get a camera, let's say my phone, I stick it in my face, and I start talking to it like this. People like can't believe that I do that, because they're like, really? I'm shy in front of a camera. To think that like one of my videos got 500,000 views, I'm talking to 500,000 people, well, actually 600,000. Like, that's crazy to me. Sorry, I'm just fidgeting. And so, yeah, not everyone can do the acting thing or going in front of cameras. Now, social situations, those are tougher for me. Like, if I ever have a meetup with you guys, I might be a little socially awkward, because that's how I am. Even though I was a teacher and I taught in front of students, or I can speak. If there were 10,000 people on here live, I'm fine. Maybe because they're not in front of me. But it is what it is. So, yeah, $30,000 for furniture. That must have been some really expensive furniture. Good quality, or maybe, I don't know. Welcome back to the world, Fred. Oh, man, that is awesome. I want stores to have a sale in 1950s prices. $250 buys a whole room set. There'd be a riot. So, but here's the catch, Arthur. You would only get 1955 money. It would be converted. So then you would have trouble. So imagine all of your income gets converted into 1955 money. Then you'd have to deal with the prices, and that would be a struggle. Because remember, 1950, I always hear that. People are like, oh, I wish sodas were like a nickel. Yeah, but also money was worth more, and so you would make less in terms of like a figure amount, like $10,000, right? $10,000 now is like $1,000 back then, but now $10,000 a year is nothing, and back then you'd maybe make like $5,000 a year, which was good, you know, and so forth. So I don't know. I don't know if 5,000 was good during the year, but you get my drift. That, you know, like the Stooges, I think they would make like a couple hundred a week, which is crazy. Like, that was amazing. They were making like $4,000 a week. I mean, that today is pretty good. You're making as much as like, you know, someone in Congress. Whereas now if you make $400 a week, you know, you're maybe, you know, on the poverty line. So It is what it is. Yeah, well, money was different. You know, money changes throughout the times. It looks... The only reason why it's weird is because we're not used to it. We're getting into my philosophical stuff. That's what I did. But yeah, what is really weird, if we go 100 years into the future, our money would be weird. They'd be like, wait, you have dead people on your money? Dead males? And then you have one guy in the $100 bill, the most expensive bill, that's not even a president? So, yeah. Yeah, so Patty, so I'm guessing 1,000 would be, sorry, 10,000 would be a lot, a year, right? I know a car would be like 3 grand, but if you're making 10,000 a year in a car, that's a big chunk of your income, right? So everything was different, yeah. Fuzzy Cub, I have sung before. I sing all the time. Do I sing well? Probably not. People tell me I don't sing well, so I don't really sing in front of people. But I heard that singing isn't like a talent necessarily. Like, you can train to sing well. Like, I heard it's like a musical instrument. Like, if you practice more, you can sing well. So, you know, I really don't have... Like, I wish I could sing well, but I don't have that much of an interest where I would start taking lessons. I'd rather fly. I love flying. So, yeah. I'm definitely going to take off after this, guys and gals. I'm really hungry. It's almost 2 o'clock my time. My lunch is waiting for me, but we still have a few more minutes. I still have, I don't know, 5 or so minutes, maybe a little more. Well, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoy or like my voice. If you do, I had an interesting comment, one really negative comment about my voice. I'm like, hey, I didn't say anything, but it's like one of those things where it's like, hey, I'm sorry I was born with this voice. I can't just change it. Maybe I could go to like a class to change the way I intone and maybe talk like this. But God gave me the voice I have, so I have no choice there. It's kind of like with people. It's like, whoa, that person's ugly. Like, you hear that, and it's like, well, they didn't have a choice what they look like. It's not like they filled out a card and be like, I want to look like this, because everyone would look a certain way if they wanted to choose what their looks were like. So, yes. Pepsi was a nickel. Popcorn was $1. See, everyone's like, whoa, I wish it were a nickel now. Yeah, but a nickel then was like, you know, was it still cheap? No, it was like $1, right? Which is still, I guess, cheap now for Pepsi. I guess it depends how much Pepsi it is, but yeah. What is for lunch, Rick? A sandwich. I have a sandwich I'm gonna get, and a chocolate chip cookie. Sorry, creepy look, but I love cookies. Mr. Like Cats, I did. I have a giant alarm-looking clock right there that I turned back this morning. My phone turned back on its own. That's what I first look at. So I woke up literally on the dot an hour before my alarm clock rang. I always put an alarm clock, but I wake up before. So yeah. Thank you, Stars Wake. I don't think I can change my voice. I think I can fake it, but honestly, it's too much effort. It's too much effort to do that. It's a turkey, pepper jack, and veggie sandwich. So yeah. There's like spinach in it, and I tend to take care of what I eat, or take care of myself when I eat. I basically only drink water. That's all I drink. I try to eat as healthy as I can. Doesn't mean I always do it, because I go crazy with the chocolate chip cookies. But sometimes I indulge. Sometimes I have fatty pizzas, and that's always good. But I usually 90% of the time eat well. Which, I don't know, some people it's like, whoa, you look younger than you are. I would really attribute it to diet and drinking water, because water flushes you. But now we're getting into other health stuff. Oh, Frank Nelson? Yes? And Desi. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Steel City, man. I appreciate that. That's a very, very, very nice and cool comment. Very, very cool. I appreciate that. I'm glad that a little bit of me comes through, because I got a comment the other day, and I usually don't like to entertain comments, because, you know, sometimes you get negative, sometimes you get positive, and the positive ones are great, and sometimes you just gotta ignore the negative. But I got someone who said, it was interesting. Tell me what you guys think. This person said, I don't know the age. This could have been an 11-year-old, okay? You know, because you hide behind a computer. But this person said, you could be more popular if you act more excited. And I was like, maybe. Like, I didn't write anything. in a negative way, because I don't do that. But I wrote something like, well, possibly, but I always like to keep a genuine outlook on things. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna be like, hey guys and gals, how are you? You know, I could do that, but no. But I also don't want to be like, hey, what's up guys and gals? And some people do that, and that's just like, that's too much. You gotta kind of you gotta entertain, but you also gotta be yourself. And I think that's really important, and I try to portray that. I watch a YouTuber who's really big. I don't even want to really mention anything. And I met him in real life. He's a really shy guy, and on the camera, like, he does car channels and stuff. And when the car accelerates, he goes, and I'm not gonna say he's faking it, but it's like, dude, like, you don't need to make that face. I'm not being critical, but I'm saying, you know, I think if you're genuine, it kind of shines through, and I could just tell that he's pushing it. And I don't want people to say that about my channel. I don't want people saying, yeah, he's faking reactions or he's faking this. Like, I just want to be me. So thank you guys. I just want to let that out. That's kind of YouTube background info and so forth. Welcome to the Twitter universe. Well, that wasn't Twitter. That was actually YouTube. I've gotten some interesting YouTube stuff. YouTube even blocks links from being put in and bad words, curse words. And so some people, it's funny because like their stuff will disappear. Yeah, because it's blocked. So kind of cool. Well, thank you, Cynthia. That's very sweet. Frank Nelson was on a lot of shows. I did a whole episode on Frank Nelson, if you guys haven't seen that. And I did some of his appearances, and he was on a lot of shows. Sanford and Son. Oh, there comes little Richard Keith, all beat up by Bush Whamsy, with a W, not with an R. Yeah, and that's the thing, Patty. I think some people can tell, and it's just like an instinct, and many people won't say it. Like, I've never written that guy that I watch and be like, your reactions are fake. Some people may, but I think 90% of the people, they won't write that, and I don't know. Some people want that, some people don't want that, but I think in the end, if you really like something, you should shine through to who you are. You know, why be someone fake? If you want people to like you, let them like you for who you are. I really believe that. Now look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people on camera. The 3 couples, Mertzes, Ricardos, and the Ramseys. And then the 2 boys. 8 people. Oh, that's the one where the father pushes Ricky into the rose bush. Yes, you're right. You absolutely, Arthur. Good job. Good job. You got that. Because I didn't remember that. I'm watching it right now without sound, so it doesn't come through here. I could get copyrighted for that. Did you know that? Although that stuff's changing now. I think it was this before. It's improved like this much. So there is a little bit of improvement going on. It's still a struggle. Hopefully it'll improve more over time. We do not need another Pee-wee. Yeah, Dolly. That was not Pee-wee. That was kind of a Pee-wee, but yeah, I don't know. If like there's a room for everything. I mean, if I'm doing a silly thing, then I could be silly. But I don't know. I could put that in there every once in a while. I love the makeup on the on he has like literally like someone got makeup, put black makeup on and went like this to Frank Nelson. Like you can see the fingers. And there's like mud. I guess the idea is they were rolling around the mud and then they're on their fingers and they're grabbing each other and so forth. That's kind of funny. The episode's ending, guys and gals. Do you have any questions? If any of you are still interested in mugs and so forth, there's a link down below to any merchandise. There's also a signed photo you can get of me that's also there down below. One-on-one chats. There's a lot of cool stuff. And again, Instagram is a great way to stay in touch because I don't have tons of followers on there compared to YouTube. And so YouTube is one of those things where I'm selecting who I'm responding to in terms of if they're directly talking to me. That's just, it's how it has to be. So in case I don't directly respond to you, again, Instagram is a great way. There's a lot of great ways as well. But that's it. That's the end of the episode, guys and gals. Thank you so much for watching. Let me just see. Kippy, which video did Lucy Hernandez comment on? I was looking for it earlier. It's pinned to the top. So I think it's the 17 bloopers. Yes, it's the 17. It's my largest video. So if you go to my playlist, you should go to youtube.com/Ricknineg2009. go to my Lucy playlist. There's a playlist, and it's the one with more than 500,000 views. Click on that, go to the comments, top one, Lucy Luckenbill. And it has her photo. Honestly, the first time, I didn't think it was her. I thought it was someone impersonating her, and I was like, oh, great name, like Lucy. And I was like, wait, no, what am I talking about? This is her. Because then I contacted her through Facebook, through her, not authorized, I'm trying to look for the right word. The account is verified. So Facebook and Twitter verifies it. And that was her. And she was talking to me, and she was telling me about her parents. It was so cool. It was so awesome. So, yeah. All right, guys and gals, well, I'm gonna take off. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have a great day, a great week. Please stay all these great things. Stay positive. It's so important. I know you may be going through something. You know, I go through stuff, and I'm no one to preach here, but I'm here to always lift you guys up. I have people write me that say thank you for brightening my day, and sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it because I'm just doing something very passionate to me, and you guys watch, and then I realize what I'm doing, and I don't know, it's a very, very cool feeling to be able to put a smile on people's faces, especially with work that I forgot about. There's videos people are watching way back that I don't even remember, and that's like, thanks for this. So I appreciate it, guys and gals. So stay positive, be hopeful, it's so important. We'll see you all next time, and you guys bring joy into my life, so thank you. You really, really do, because if I'd be sitting here alone talking to myself, there's no joy in that, right? It's the interaction that makes it good. So we'll see you next time, guys and gals, and don't forget, be hopeful.